If you've been struggling with executing on your strategies for your business in regards to sales and marketing online, then today I want to share with you 3 main reasons why your strategies might be flopping and why they might not be as profitable as you'd hope they would be. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Unedited, where we talk about all things sales, marketing, and mindset. I am your favorite sales and marketing coach, Lauren Nelson, and I help coaches and service providers just like you learn how to find their voice, own their expertise, and sell online. So today, like I said, we're going to be breaking down all things strategy. I know a lot of you guys are in this season of creation, right? You're in the season of elevation. However, you're struggling with this one piece, and it's the execution. And as I've been going through my personal business journey and as I've been working with my clients, I see the same thing happen over and over again. And I'm realizing now that this is just one of the many phases that we as entrepreneurs go through as we progress through this journey of really growing our businesses online. So like I said, there are 3 main things that I have found to be very consistent, especially for people who are trying to do and build and execute strategy online. So let's get into it. And also, hello to those of you who are new. Let me just give you a quick breakdown because it's been a lot of videos. So just to give you some background on what Unedited is, this series started with me when I decided I wanted to be consistent on YouTube. Now, as you know, it is called Unedited, and the reason why it was called Unedited was because I did a 30-day challenge. However, I knew that if I was going to create YouTube videos for 30 days straight, who is editing all of those, right? I got my client work, I got my programs I'm building out, I'm doing all these things, I'm living my life. I can't edit all of those things. So I decided that I was not going to edit them, hence why it is called Unedited. But now these might be a little bit more edited depending on what the flow is, but you get the gist. So getting back into today's topic with my handy dandy notebook, the first point that you need to understand in regards to why your strategies keep flopping is, number 1, your details are very vague. What I mean by this is that when you are not taking the time to fully elaborate on what you need to do to execute at a high level for your strategy, then you will always fail. It's like missing pieces to the puzzle, right? Let's picture your strategy as this full puzzle. You miss 5 pieces, it's incomplete, right? And so when you don't fully imagine, when you don't fully piece all of the parts of the strategy together, not only does it leave you to be frustrated once you start executing and realizing that, wow, I didn't plan for these things, but it wastes your time as well and your money, because now, let's say you plan to have a budget of like $500. This is just random numbers. You plan to have a budget of $500. However, you didn't think to include X, Y, and Z, right? You have these other costs that you didn't even think about. You didn't take the time to plan for. Now you're ending up spending $1,000, right? So these things, and being very detailed in your strategy and in your descriptions, and just understanding that in order to build an effective strategy, you need to take the time to ask yourself, what is necessary to accomplish task 1? What's necessary to accomplish task 2? What things might I run into when trying to accomplish these things? What would be the roadblocks? What happens if it takes a little bit longer? All of these things are key in order to build effective strategy. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that the time factor. This is something that I would struggle with a lot because for me, and I feel like this is I won't say an everybody thing because I don't like overgeneralizing. However, a lot of people have a very optimistic view when it comes to how much they can achieve in a certain amount of time. So for me, and I still gotta catch myself when I do this, I would fill up my to-do list. Oh yeah, I can do all of this in one day, right? I put on like 5 tasks, big tasks, right? It's not the small ones, but I put on like 5 big tasks. And I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And then I get to it, and I can only get to 2 tasks. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I have to move these to tomorrow. now the rest of my strategy is messed up because I didn't plan effectively. Right now, you are not planning effectively. You are going in with this optimistic view. You're not taking into consideration the fact that you need to eat at least 3 times throughout the day. You probably are gonna have a few distractions, even though they're unwanted, but let's say something happens. You don't have any buffer time, so you need to plan accordingly, which means sometimes as you're building out your deadlines that need to be met, you need to give yourself more time than you would ever expect that you need, just to make sure that you are staying ahead rather than falling behind. Because the thing is, when you start to fall behind, it pushes your whole strategy back. And 2 things happen when you fall behind. Number 1, you realize that you either need to speed up the process to make sure you stay on top of your deadlines, which means you might end up sacrificing quality. Or number 2, you realize that in order to effectively meet your goals, you need to revise the entire strategy in its fullness, because at this point it just doesn't make sense, right? You forgot to add in the key things that needed to be done, or you just didn't give yourself enough time to complete it at the highest quality that you would appreciate, and you got to do something about it. So again, you just have to remember that 1, it takes time to figure out how much time, how much space, how much energy you need to accomplish your various tasks on your strategy list. But also, as you're going through this, just have the confidence in knowing that the more you do it, the easier it will become in the future, okay? So now we're gonna move into point number 2, which is you are not consistently reviewing your strategy. Again, I'm speaking from experience with all of these. These are things that I have gone through, and again, the things that my clients have gone through and that we're working through together. If you are not taking time to review your strategy daily, you will find yourself getting disconnected and lost. And I can't stress this enough. It's the same thing with not being connected to your vision. Your strategy is your roadmap. It's literally the directions. Now imagine, right now I'm at a crop. Let's say I wanted to take a trip to Cape Coast. Cape Coast is about 5-6 hours away. I don't know how to get there. So I print out my instructions of how to get there, right? Imagine Cape Coast is my goal. The directions are my strategy. For the first 2 hours, I look at my directions, but then I'm like, I'm good. And I put them away. Mind you, I've never been down this road before. I don't know these roads, but I put my map down and I just drive. Now, what would have taken me only 5 or 6 hours now will take me about 12 because I don't have my directions. I don't have my roadmap. And that's what it's like for you as soon as you stop looking and reviewing your strategy every single day. I know it seems like a big task, right? Oh my God, I gotta review my strategy. Yes, you have to, because your strategy will keep you focused. It will make sure that you are taking intentional action. It will make sure that you are staying focused on your deadlines and that you're making the most out of each and every day. Again, we're focused on getting results. It's not about what makes us feel good, it's about doing what's required. Okay, so again, remember, what are we going to do when we create our strategy? We're going to look at it every single day. And another reason why this is so important is because you took out hours and hours and hours of your time to build this strategy. You did that, right? So the least you can do is follow through and respect yourself enough to be like, I put the time and effort into this. So allow me to just follow through and get it right the first time. Because at the end of the day, when we're thinking about strategy, the reason why we build strategy and we get this data and we look at all the information that we get from executing on these strategies is because we use it to make informed decisions in the future. So if you're doing your strategy and you don't go full out, your data's skewed. You can't rely on that data because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you're building out your upcoming strategy for the new year. Again, before we get into this next point, make sure if you have not already, be sure to subscribe. Also, I want to let you guys know that I am now opening up the waitlist for my newest sales training. You guys know, well, most of you know, that I just recently hosted a sales training and it was absolutely amazing. And now I realize that a lot of you guys, especially because of the time difference, since I'm here in Ghana and then sometimes I'm in the States, it's just really hard to get there and make sure you have the time and availability. And so in order to just get rid of all those extra problems, I figured the best way to go about it is to give you guys complete access so that you can access the training on your own time. If you need to, you can pause it, you can come back to it, you can rewind so you can take notes, you can pause it, all this stuff so that you can get the most out of the actual sales training. So the wait list is now open. The link is down below. If you're interested in getting access to the training, click it and go ahead, join, register, whatever you need to do. And yeah, I'm excited. Trust me, it's one you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss it. If I had this information I'm giving you 5-6 years ago, y'all, just know. Okay, now getting back into point number 3. So, yeah, this is the one. Point number 3. You abandon your strategy after the second week. This goes back to reviewing your strategy daily, right? If you abandon your strategy, how do you expect to get results? You took the time, effort, and energy to use your brain power. You thought these things through. When you were sitting down, these things added up. But then you leave it, and then you just go on what you feel like. Business cannot always be about what you feel like. Business has to be about the data. It has to be about strategic thinking. What we feel like is not always what's going to make us money. And this is why, again, it's so important to make sure that we're not doing these 3 things, right? We're making sure that we have fully detailed, fully planned out strategies. We're making sure that we're reviewing our strategies daily because we put in the time, effort, and energy to create them. And then also that we're following them through. Again, data is necessary. And if we don't have accurate data, we cannot make informed decisions in the future. Now that we have all 3 of those, I want to give you guys some really practical ways to start improving your execution methods going forward. Number 1, reflect on your strategy daily. This is very simple and plain. I would suggest putting it in a notebook. I enjoy having my notes app. I have my ClickUp that keeps me reminded. For anyone who's interested in ClickUp, it's just a project management tool. It allows you to set the dates. It connects to your calendar. There's a free option. It's great for strategy development. It's great for tracking your progress. And also, if you are thinking about hiring people in the future and you want to be able to assign them new tasks, it's great for that as well. So I'll put that link down in the description as well so you can get your free account. It's very helpful. I 11 out of 10 recommend. And then moving on into the next point, again, review your strategy daily. It's as simple as that. And another thing that I enjoy doing, I like putting sticky notes on my laptop. So every day or every night before the next day, I take time to review my strategy. I take time to review what things I have to get clear on this week, what things need to be done in this current week in order for me to reach my goals. And each day on my sticky note, I put it on my laptop. I'm looking at my laptop pretty much all day long, right? So if I'm looking on there, it feels so good to just be able to go in and cross those things off because now I know, okay, I'm getting closer to my goal. When I was really in the headspace and making out the strategy, it made sense based off of the data. So I'm just gonna listen to myself because I trust me. I trust me, right? And you need to trust you. And then last but not least, remember, follow all the way through, right? Because the goal of creating and execute on strategies is to get you the data so that you can continue to make those informed decisions. And I know this video probably sounds very repetitive. It was on purpose. Very, very repetitive on purpose. And the reason being is because you've heard a lot of things before. You've heard a lot of things before one time. How many of those things have you executed on? How many books have you read and you still haven't done what the book said to do? How many podcasts have you listened to and you still have not done what the podcast told you to do? Repetition is key. Repetition is key. It has to get into your mind so that you're able to process it. Your brain is able to recognize it as important, and then you'll finally take action. That's all. That is all. So again, If you like this video, if you like the tips that I gave you, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe as well. If you didn't like this video, hit that like button and subscribe as well. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. I would love to hear your feedback down below in the comments. Let me know what you want to hear more of. And yeah, I'm gonna see if we're gonna get this back up and going every single day. Sorry. I'm gonna see if we can get this back going every single day. It's just gonna depend on what my schedule looks like, but that is the goal. So with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you again for tuning in, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.